Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, did you know that right now airlines are sitting on literally billions of dollars in unredeemed travel vouchers? Billions. It's wild to think about just how much of our hard-earned money gets trapped in their system. Well, today we're opening up the ultimate empowerment playbook for getting your money back when flights inevitably go wrong. So if you want to know exactly how to navigate the absolute headache of cancellations, delays, and disappearing dollars, let's decode the fine print together. We're going to figure out how to handle these challenges like the highly informed consumers we are.
Let's start with a scenario I think pretty much all of us know way too well. Picture this. You are standing in a super crowded airport terminal, right? You look up and you're just staring at this glaring red canceled notification on the departure board. Ugh, that sinking feeling just instantly sets in. And to make matters even worse, after you finally get to the front of that massive customer service line, the agent kind of pushes you into accepting an expiring travel voucher instead of the actual, hard-earned cash you originally paid. It's incredibly frustrating, it feels totally unfair, and for the longest time, honestly, it just seemed like the accepted cost of traveling.
But guys, the landscape has officially shifted. 7 days. That is a massive game changer. Thanks to a sweeping new U.S. Department of Transportation mandate that actually just took effect in late 2024, airlines are now legally required to issue automatic cash refunds within exactly 7 business days if you bought your ticket with a credit card. Literally 7 days, no more spending months chasing down your own money.
Okay, so here's our agenda for today to get you fully prepped. We've got 1, airline policies and cancellations, 2, know your legal rights, 3, steps to claim your refund, 4, using chargebacks and platforms, and 5, FAQs and actionable tips. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. Airline policies and cancellations. Decoding the fine print.
Understanding the landscape of exactly why and how flights get canceled, that's the absolute foundation of getting your refund. See, before these new rules, airlines basically just got to write their own definitions of what warranted a refund, which was, well, convenient for them. But now, the federal government has actually stepped in to create a universal standard. And honestly, this is a massive win for us passengers. For the very first time, the DOT strictly defines what a significant change actually means, and it completely overrides any individual airline policy. So, if your domestic flight is delayed or moved by more than 3 hours or 6 hours for an international flight, boom, that is a significant change. If they change your origin or destination airport, if they tack on extra connections, or if they involuntarily downgrade your class of service, all of those qualify too. You are absolutely no longer at the mercy of some airline's internal rulebook.
And this is where the real power of this mandate shines. Airlines must issue an automatic refund if your flight is canceled or significantly changed, regardless of the reason, as long as you decline rebooking. Let me repeat that, regardless of the reason. It totally doesn't matter if the delay is uncontrollable, like some massive snowstorm, or completely controllable, like a mechanical failure on their end. If they don't deliver the exact itinerary you paid for, and you decide, nope, I'm not taking your alternative, you are legally entitled to your money back. Automatically. It's brilliant.
Moving on to Section 2. Know your legal rights. Global protections compared.
Okay, so knowing your rights is absolutely critical here, because your protections actually shift depending on where in the world you're flying. It's actually fascinating to see these international rules contrasted side by side like this. The US DOT focuses pretty heavily on just making sure you get your money back automatically. But if you look over at Europe with EU 261 and UK 261, their focus is on refunds plus additional compensation plus a right to care. And that right to care includes meals, hotel accommodations, and even transport if you end up stranded. Oh, and definitely notice the time to claim here. I was honestly surprised to see that in the UK, you actually have up to 6 full years to file a claim for a disrupted flight. 6 years.
And we're not talking about pocket chains here, folks. Under those EU 261 and UK 261 regulations, if the airline is at fault for a delay of over 3 hours, a cancellation, or if they deny you boarding, you could be entitled to between $270 and up to around $650, or roughly $520, in extra cash compensation per person. And remember, this is on top of your refund or rerouting. The amounts are strictly set by law based on the distance of your flight, so airlines literally cannot legally offer you less.
But wait, consumer rights don't just stop at the passenger seat. They actually extend right to your luggage and your add-ons too. Under the new US rules, if you file a mishandled baggage report and the airline fails to deliver your checked bag within 12 hours for a domestic flight or between 15 to 30 hours for international flights, depending on how long the flight is, you get your baggage fee automatically refunded. Furthermore, if you paid for extra stuff, ancillary services like Wi-Fi or picking a specific seat, and the airline drops the ball and fails to provide them, those fees have to be refunded as well.
All right, Section 3. Steps to claim your refund, your recovery playbook.
So understanding your rights is one thing, but actually enforcing them, that requires a specific recovery playbook. We want to make absolutely sure you never walk away empty-handed when the law is on your side. So here's the exact progression you should follow. Step 1. Document the disruption immediately, and politely but firmly refuse the voucher if you want cash. Oh, and do not accept alternative transportation if your main goal is a refund. If they try to push a voucher on you, try using this script. Just say, under DOT rules, I am declining the alternative itinerary and requesting my mandatory cash refund. Step 2. Contact the airline's customer service in writing. And Step 3. If they drag their feet or try to pull the whole, well, that's our policy line, escalated. Go ahead and file an official complaint with the DOT in the US or the Civil Aviation Authority, the CAA, if you're over in the UK.
The absolutely crucial point here is that you want to have everything in writing. You are basically building an undeniable case. Keep your booking confirmations, snap screenshots of any cancellation text you get, actually write down the exact names of the gate agents you speak to, and please, always get a physical copy of that mishandled baggage report before you even leave the airport. And hey, if you're chatting with customer service online, take screenshots and save those chat transcripts for sure.
Let's look at Section 4, using chargebacks and platforms, the financial nuclear option.
But what happens when an airline just completely ignores the rules, refuses to communicate with you, or even worse, goes bankrupt? Well, this is what we call the financial nuclear option, and it relies heavily on how you paid for your ticket in the first place. I was seriously amazed to learn that if you paid with a credit card, you actually have this incredibly powerful federal law on your side in the US called the Fair Credit Billing Act. Under this act, if an airline cancels a flight and just doesn't refund you, the non-delivery of that paid service is legally classified as a billing error. That's huge. It gives you the right to dispute the charge directly with your credit card issuer, meaning you get to bypass the stubborn airline entirely. Now, executing a successful chargeback does require some precision. The absolute prerequisite here is that you must attempt to resolve the issue with the airline first, and you need to document that attempt. Then, you've got 60 days from your credit card statement date to submit a written billing error notice to your card issuer. You've got to cite services not received, make sure to include the transaction date, the exact dollar amount, and of course, attach all that proof we talked about earlier. I realize this is just an invaluable strategy, especially for airline bankruptcies. Like if an airline, say Spirit, faces a shutdown scenario and all those flight credits suddenly become totally worthless, a chargeback is often the fastest and honestly sometimes the only route to getting your money back.
Just a super quick word of warning regarding where you actually book your flights. If you use an online travel agency, an OTA like Expedia or Booking.com, just be prepared for the whole blame game. The platform might tell you to call the airline, and then the airline might tell you to call the platform. But listen, the law is completely clear on this. The entity legally responsible for issuing the flight refund is the airline itself. Seriously, don't let them just bounce you back and forth.
Almost done. Section 5. FAQs and actionable tips. Common pitfalls avoided.
To avoid those common pitfalls, I think it really helps to clearly frame what the airline wants versus what your actual rights are. Just look at this comparison. Vouchers basically just benefit the airline. They keep your money in-house, they almost always expire, and they come absolutely loaded with restrictions and fine print. Cash refunds, on the other hand, go right back to your original form of payment, they have no expiration date, and they strictly benefit you, the consumer. Honestly, unless an airline is offering you a voucher that is just exceptionally generous, like well above the cash value of your ticket, you should always choose cash.
So to prevent future losses, just make these your golden rules, okay? Number 1, always use a credit card for travel bookings so you have those chargeback rights. Number 2, never accept a voucher without scrutinizing the fine print first. Number 3, act quickly when disruptions happen, because both airlines and consumer laws have pretty strict time limits. And finally, here's a really great tool to use before you even book a flight. Check out the DOT's Airline Cancellation and Delay Dashboard. It's a lifesaver for seeing which airlines historically offer the best voluntary care when things inevitably go wrong.
So I want to leave you with this question to think about. The very next time you are standing at that airport desk and a gate agent looks you in the eye and says, "I'm sorry, our policy is that we can only offer you a travel credit," how are you going to respond? Because after going through this explainer together, you know for a fact that their internal policy does not override federal law. You are an empowered consumer now, fully equipped to politely but firmly demand exactly what is legally yours. Just as a quick disclaimer,
Please note that this explainer provides general guidance on airline refund regulations based on the latest source materials. Specific legal advice should always be sought for your unique individual cases. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today. Keep this playbook handy, travel safe out there, and never settle for a voucher when you're owed cash.